Hello everyone, Fox here, and it's time to start talking about fifth skill, starting with gardening. Now, gardening is pretty simple, but hey, we gotta start somewhere, so let's just get crack-a-lackin'. This basic skill can be found randomly on survivors you recruit, or you can use a book on the gardening skill to teach another survivor you have that doesn't currently have a fifth skill. What it does is crank up and optimize the three farming-focused facilities, which are the farm, the garden, and the hydroponics. When gardening maxes out, you can pick between agriculture and herbalism. Agriculture focuses on optimizing food production and also gives you +1 food per day when the skill is fully maxed out, while herbalism focuses on improving your medicine optimization, and when the skill is maxed out, it will give you +1 medicine per day. You can expect to lose an average of 1 food per day per community member in your enclave, and you can expect to lose about 2 medicine per day from your medical facility. Now, you could just farm food rucksacks and not use this facility, so let's see how good it is so that you can decide what strategy to use for yourself. To do this, we're going to build the 3 farming facilities and take a look at where you're going to need a skill to optimize them, and then we're going to look at how good they are when fully maxed out. Then we'll look at how much food we can squeeze out of a facility without using any of the 5th skill bonuses. So let's get started, beginning with the farm. This is specifically a large outdoor facility, and it has a base food production of 2. There is no difference between the production in food and medicine, so if it's 2 food, it's also 2 medicine. So we can't really do a whole lot with this facility without skills. You cannot use boost yields to increase how much we're getting, and we also cannot upgrade it to level 2 without gardening. We could add a mod, though, to buff it up a little bit. The next facility is the garden. It is specifically a small outdoor facility with a base yield of 1 food, and we cannot use boost yields, as I said earlier, but it looks like we can upgrade it to level 2 without the gardening skill. Lastly, we have the hydroponics, which is interesting because it requires knowledge of utilities to build as well as water and power. In return, though, this facility can be built indoors or outdoors, which gives it a bit of flexibility, and it has a base food output of 3. This is also its final form. It does not upgrade into like a level 2 hydroponics, for example. The one thing I noticed out of all these is that the hydroponics requires knowledge of herbalism to replant food into medicine, while the other 2 farms only require knowledge of gardening, which I found interesting. Let's crank things up to level 2, though. The farm, the large facility, is now up to 3 food, and to upgrade it even further to level 3, we're going to need knowledge of agriculture, and our leader has to be a trader, so most people would be stuck at stage 2. It is now on par with the hydroponics, except for taking up a large facility. The garden is now up to level 2, and it does need agriculture to be leveled up to 3, and its food output is now up to 2 as well. Now let's go ahead and max them out. The farm finally exceeds the hydroponics by having a food output of 4. The garden now rivals the hydroponics by having an output of 3, though it doesn't have the flexibility of being able to be constructed indoors. And they both do not require herbalism to replant into medicine, which I think heavily devalues the herbalism skill. Let's go ahead and max them out, get the best bonuses though, and now the farm is producing 12 food, though you will have to subtract 1 from all of these numbers because I'm using the compost bin, which does consume 1 food per day. The garden and the hydroponics are both producing 9 food, and if we come at it from the opposite angle, where we try to get as much food as possible without using anything that requires the gardening skills, the farm is going to produce 4 food, once again -1 because of the compost bin. The garden will also produce 4 food, and the hydroponics will produce 6, which is actually not bad. Okay, enough of that though. We've got our data, we've done our research. It's time for conclusions, and let's just get herbalism out of the way. Herbalism kind of sucks. 2 of the farms don't even need it to grow medicine. You don't even need that much medicine to begin with. An overflow of medicine could be useful for making money because excess medicine could be used for making bulk plague cures, and those sell for 500 influence. But I don't think it's worth it to dedicate a survivor to the skill and a whole facility in your base just to grow some medicine when you can just find it out in the field. Agriculture, though, making 9 to 12 food per day, that's actually pretty good. As I said, you could just stockpile a whole bunch of food rucksacks and just not use any of these skills, but I really like convenience. I think it's one of my most important things in State of Decay 2, is just having as much automated as possible. So I could not in the right mind say that agriculture is not worth it. What I did find interesting, though, is if you intentionally want a smaller community of about 5 to 6 people, you could just go with putting a compost bin in a hydroponics and just get the 6 food per day. That would free up another 5th skill, and in a small community where you don't have a lot of people to begin with, that could be pretty valuable. But that is that. Like I said, gardening, pretty straightforward, but we gotta start somewhere. Anyways, like this video if it was helpful or entertaining, subscribe to my channel for future State of K2 content, and remember that you don't have to be good to get good.